Wow, my subscribers are struggling with decorating their homes, and I know that because they sent me their homes in images, and they also sent me their struggles. Today's video is a favorite on the channel. I'm going to be giving design advice to my subscribers, and at max, they're gonna have to purchase 3 new things. Everything else we're gonna do is gonna be rearranging, floor plan, balancing, talking about design principles, la-di-do. These are really fun videos. I hope that it helps the subscriber who submitted their space, and even more so, I hope it helps everybody watching. I think it's gonna be a fun time. Let's go. Yeet. I don't know why. That's the only way I can think to start videos sometimes, is just by screaming yeet. Sometimes I don't know how to start the actual video. I'm talking now, that's what I should say. We are covering some very fun rooms today. One person who's struggling with some weird retro colorful vibes in their home. One subscriber is struggling to fill their 2 tall walls, and another subscriber whose room is actually like very close to their design style, but it's not 100% and they're not sure what those final touches are. We're gonna solve them all. Here we go. Room number 1 is submitted by subscriber Ava. I live in Vancouver and work in youth mental health research. Wow, so she submitted her bathroom. I totally love the blue fixtures and feel like this bathroom has so much potential, but the lack of light, old grody tiles and paint, and horrible light fixture totally ruined the vibe. I want this space to feel artsy and mid-century, matching the style of the rest of my apartment. The home is really important to me and I'm usually happy to invest, but since I plan to move away from Vancouver within the next year, I'm trying to budget and be mindful of how much money I put into it. Great, good to know, very relatable. Excellent boundaries. Okay, before we dive more into the room, Ava also sent over her inspo board, which is amazing, and I think she's done a great job here. She is filing her searches down to things that reflect the bathroom she has. We've got the blue fixtures, the vintage tiles, and I love that she's pinning stuff that leans into the colorfulness, mid-century vibe of the bathroom. Great. She's working with the stuff that is already there. These are very opinionated design elements. A blue toilet with a blue sink and a blue bathtub and blue towel wall. It's very opinionated. You're way better off working with it. So I'm glad she's embracing that, and she called out. She's moving in a bit, so she doesn't want to invest too much in stuff that's just gonna like live and die in this room. Great to know. Now to get started, I'm gonna say let's just clear everything out of the bathroom that we can. It'll just help give you some clarity. Now, the one thing I will say about the inspo board she shared, a lot of these rooms still maintain like a bright white wall, and they bring in the color elsewhere. And here's a design rule that I think is pretty universal. I almost want to say it's a rule. A bright white wall pretty much only looks good if you have natural light flooding in. That's what makes it like glow, shine. It makes it heavenly. It's not the white paint. It's the natural light coming through a window or coming through a glass door or something that's reflecting off the white paint. Now, if we put that same white paint in a windowless room, it feels like a storage room. It feels like a closet. It feels like a basement. Windowless rooms are really hard because we are stripped of, in my opinion, the most impactful design element, which is natural light. So despite having a lot of images on here with white walls, I would say in your windowless bathroom, you're not going to be able to achieve this effect with the white walls. So I would say let's lean into the color. I do think that's the way to go when you have a windowless bathroom, especially. Just lean in on that color. Make it a cozy little cave, because that's what it is. It is a cave. We're not going to make it feel like something other than a cave. There's no way, unless you put a bunch of windows in. Now, as far as choosing a color, if you had blue tiles on the wall, then it could be fun to continue that blue, or like a blue in a slightly different tone on the wall, like some of these photos. I do like doing that kind of like monochrome, especially in a small windowless bathroom. That's fun. But she actually has just the blue toilet and then white tiles. And because it's broken up that way, I don't like taking that same blue color and putting it on the wall. So I want to choose a color that like complements the blue, warms it up. It's very cold with these like white and blue tones in here. I literally just Googled mid-century paint colors and see a bunch of options that you might want to choose from to keep it feeling a little mid-century. I landed on painting the ceiling just like going all in. Great, so we've already got some color going on. Now, there's only a few things that go into this room, so let's make them count. Number one, we're gonna get you a new little bathroom rug or mat. You can absolutely put a vintage woven rug or mat in your bathroom. I would find something with warm colors, a pattern you love, make it a piece of art, okay? Little rugs like that are just super versatile. You can use them all over your home no matter where you live. Those are great things to build up. You can just use them all over the place. Dope, we bought one thing. I will say you had that little cute vase on the back of the toilet. I will say I don't love putting stuff on the back of the toilet. I've done it before. My rings fall in the toilet all the time. Just get them out. Sometimes you have to. If you have to, I would love if you put like a tray down there, just something. I think you just need like a mental separation from the toilet. But if you don't have to put something there, like this little vase isn't functional, it's just decor, I would just not put anything there. I would lean into making this bathroom like as minimal in decor as you can. That's gonna make it feel less grody, more elevated, more refined. So looking above the toilet, we're gonna have a towel there. We're gonna have towels all over the back of the door. That takes up a lot of real estate. Let's make those towels freaking count. I'm gonna say second purchase, we are going to get a colorful, fun, funky, warm colored set of towels. Yeah, everything else is like ice blue. So let's do warm. You can do a fun stripe. You can do a pattern. You can do, I would definitely get some kind of like pattern or print or something on there. Okay, so far we've purchased 2 items. Let's talk about some things we can DIY. I'm seeing in these photos, I think you had a little wood or faux wood under sink cabinet and it looks like you painted it. I kind of wish it was still wood. I think the wood worked for you. I actually kind of saw this reflected in one of your inspo images. I guess I don't know which of these photos is before or after. Maybe you stripped it or maybe you made it wood. If you can strip it back to the wood, great. If not, leave it as is. But something else we can DIY is let's really play up that art moment above the toilet, right? I love the art that you have up there, but the thing that's holding you back is just the frame and the mat. The frame and the mat. Sometimes, write this down, people, the problem is not your art. The problem is just the frame. And the frame is part of the art. Y'all be overlooking this, but it is as much, maybe more important than the content of what you frame for like contributing to the feel of the room. You can take like a bad, weird, misaligned piece of art, and if you put the right frame on it, it can work in your room. And we have a nice piece of art here too. So I would say, let's just get a better frame. Let's pack some color in there. I really like this thing I've been seeing of like a tone-on-tone frame with matte, like this. You can DIY that. Color pop, love it. Y'all, if there's nothing else you take away from these videos I make, it's that you do not need to do a full revamp to inject some style and personality into your room. 1 to 3 snazzy pieces can make all the difference, and the same actually goes for your wardrobe. This video is sponsored by one of my favorite sponsors, ThredUp, which means it's time to talk about clothes, thank God. In case you've been living under a rock, ThredUp is one of the biggest online thrift and consignment stores for women's fashion. Let's look at some outfits. I'm in major winter doldrums, and something that always cheers me up is to look forward to my spring outfits. I found this little dress. It's from For Love and Lemons, one of my favorite brands. They're also a very expensive brand, and I snagged this guy for just $35. Just love the bright colors. I just miss the sun. This is from Cotton Citizen, and I'd never heard of that brand until I was using ThredUp because it has really good discovery features where it lets you search based on other brands you already like, which is so helpful to me. And now this company is one of my like favorite brands. I snagged this guy for $48 and I feel amazing about it. This is another dress I got from Cotton Citizen. I got this guy for $47. It's so freaking cute. I can dress it up and make it more of a nighttime dress with a pop of neon heels. Look at these. I'm so obsessed with these heels. These are Vince Camuto and I got them for $9.50. I love these so much. This pop of neon, I feel like makes me feel so much cooler. Look at this jeans outfit before and then after. Come on, that is fun. I also think it's adorable to pair with a longer skirt. And this chartreuse little sweater top I'm wearing, adorable, also got it on ThredUp. Not only is ThredUp a great way to inject unique style into your wardrobe, but it's also a really great way to shop secondhand, and it particularly helps me discover different brands. Plus, it has the most accurate, honest photos of the clothing. It is great designer brands. There's clothing on there that often still has the tags on it. I don't know. I have the best time there. You can shop hundreds of brands for a fraction of the price, all in one place. And you guys can shop my ThredUp favorites and receive 50% off your first order plus free shipping. Just use this link right here and use code 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗚. You're gonna have the time of your life. Watch out. Okay, Ava also mentioned how much she hates that light. Yeah, it's bad. Why would anyone do that to you? I'm sorry that this was done to you. It kind of stinks. I've been wondering for a while why people don't make like easy renter-friendly covers and stuff for these horrible rental bathroom lights that every rental has. And I'm delighted to find that some people are making them now. I found this one on Etsy. It can go over all these different kinds of ugly lights that you have in a rental bathroom. I'm hoping that you can just pop off, maybe you don't even have to pop it off, but probably pop off that exterior cover you have on the light and pop this on. I don't want you to have to do any wiring or electrical or anything. I think this is a pretty good look for a mid-century vibe. Brings in a little texture. Look at the specifics, see if it works for you. Yeah, I think this is a great option. If you don't want to touch that at all because that'll be a sunk cost, don't leave it. Instead, I would recommend as your third purchase, going in on a shower curtain. It's like, I know we don't like spending money on like the shower curtain. It's like, it's gonna be plastic or whatever, but it is a huge visual piece of this room. I would do a fun pop, maybe like a gold or a yellow or something to some kind of accent color to add to the colors that are already in there. You can do a double shower curtain. I like that. That's luxe. You open it like this. I like to get into my shower like that. And then you can pop out of your shower like that. Cool. Or you can just do one. Then we can pop your sink accessories back on the sink and voila. We have a highly upgraded bathroom. There's a lot of restrictions. You're renting, great. And you don't want to like burn all your savings trying to make this rental work. But you can have a bathroom that guests walk into and are like, damn, this girl has style. Damn, this bathroom is fun. Damn, I wish I watched Caroline Winkler's videos so I could get ideas like this. I'm just saying, these are some of the things they might say. In summary, we're rehoming the vase on the toilet. We're gonna DIY our little art. We are going to consider purchasing, I would say definitely the rug, and then either some combination of shower curtain, towels, and light. Yeah. Good luck. Thanks for sharing your space. It's time to be cute. I'm still been working on learning and practicing makeup. I think I put highlighter on all over my face thinking it was bronzer. I thought it was a bronzer, but it was a highlighter. So if you can see every single pore on my face right now, I don't want to hear about it. Room number 2. This room was submitted by Ray in Knoxville, Tennessee. They said that they just moved here from DC. Oh, and they loved getting DC vibes from my videos. And one time I saw you in Trader Joe's, but I was feeling shy that day. You saw me in Trader Joe's and you didn't say hi. That's crazy. You should always say hi if you see me. You should always say hi. Unless I look like I'm like about to cry or I'm sprinting somewhere. I mean, you can still say hi, but it probably won't be like that positive an experience. But I don't think that's ever happened to me. I don't think anyone's ever caught me at a moment where I was like, wow, I wish they weren't talking to me right now. But every once in a while I've gone out and I'm like on the verge of tears or I'm having the worst day ever. And I am like, this is not a good day for someone to come talk to me because I'm not going to be fun. And I try to make my face like I try to make myself appear very obviously unpleasant so that people can hopefully tell it's not the time. I don't think anyone has ever approached me though in a bad moment. You should always say hi. It like makes my day. And then I go home and tell Justin about it. It's really fun. Okay. Ray says, the walls of my living room are too tall. I know it's the dream, but I don't know what to do with all the space. I think the issue is presenting as everything looking heavy and cluttered on the floor, and the design doesn't feel very cohesive. I don't need things to look polished. In fact, I very much prefer the shabbier, more hodgepodge, but warm look. However, right now the decor just looks kind of random. The wall above the mantle we often use for projecting movies, but I'm willing to put up anything on any other wall. Thank you, I think you're a genius, and I'd love to hear what you think. Ugh, please, the flattery. Okay, Ray also sent a fabulous inspo board. This feels super cohesive to me. Ray, you did a great job. I'm seeing lots of pops of color, eclectic. I can see what you mean by like, it doesn't need to feel polished. You want it to feel homey, lived in. There's like cozy clutter, kind of. Lots of fun, warm colors, lots of wood tones. Awesome. I totally get what you're going for. And I think you have a great room that really lends itself to this style. So that's great. I see that you are well on your way. One thing I'd like to say looking at your room is like, look at this corner, okay? This corner of the space, I think you're doing a great job already of getting to your design style. We've got the warm tones, color, a little bit of cozy chaos. Great job. Now let's look to the other corner of your room. This feels much farther from your design goal. I'm mostly seeing gray. Let me say this, when you have a design vision that's like an eclectic style like Ray, I want to say there's almost never a place for gray. Eclectic and like earthy reflects the colors of the earth. We've got colorful pops, we've got browns, we've got earth tones. Ain't no gray. Ain't no gray. If you need a neutral, do brown over gray 1,000,000%. No gray. We don't need gray. No more gray. I don't think there's any reason for you to ever own anything gray. One thing I'll say, don't hit me, the curtains on the one window hung kind of hanky-panky aren't helping you. I might say let's just remove the curtains. You know, rehome them, store them, save them for another day. I think you can really get away with the like light, naked, beautifully naked windows here. I might just keep the windows clean. So yes, Ray, the walls in this room are very tall, and that often makes things hard, especially when you want a really cozy feeling instead of a grandiose feeling. Yes, sometimes people put up like picture frame molding to try and fill that wall a bit, or all other kinds of like wall details to try and break up that intimidating length. There's lots of things you can do, but lots of them are expensive. And the easiest thing you can do is to try and bring that ceiling down. And we can do that with paint, just a little bit of paint trickery. I would throw a nice warm color up on that ceiling and just bring it down the walls a little bit. I would see if you can bring it down far enough to break the line of those windows and the door frame, especially when you're going for like a more eclectic feel. Break those lines. You don't want a lot of things like on a grid. And I think this is gonna bring that ceiling down visually a little bit, so there's actually less you feel like you have to fill now. And then to get in some of those like fun color pops from your inspo board, I'm gonna say let's paint the window trim, let's paint the door frame and the door, hit that baseboard. This is fun. This is already more fun to me. We've added pops of color, we've played up like the warmth and the sunlight that this room gets. You have to do a lot less work to fill your walls now, like, wow, Caroline, you're so good at this. Great. And we haven't purchased any new decor or things we're gonna lug around. Now, an important step of designing your home and finessing your spaces is figuring out what you're gonna rehome, move, put away. Sometimes we burn. Sometimes we burn it. A couple things we're gonna burn in this room. This like desk chair thing, rehome it, use it somewhere else, give it to somebody, sell it for some cash if you can. I would burn it for so many reasons. Even if it was in good condition, it looks like a desk chair that you've put out as an armchair. Like, I just don't think it's vibing right for like the cozy feeling in your room. It actually looks like, I feel like someone was electrocuted in this chair. This looks like a chair that you could receive like electric shock in. And it has the wear to show it. That's what this chair looks like to me. You've thrown a blanket over it, which I think is because you also don't like how it's looking. No, burn. What else are we gonna burn? Honestly, not much else. I think the rugs in this room are doing you a disservice. You don't have to burn them. Maybe you can use them elsewhere. Maybe you can sell them, get a little cash back. But I think we can massively upgrade your space and get you closer to design vision by getting a fun and colorful rug. A woven rug with some like nice colorful stripes, or I don't know, there's like a million directions you could go with this. Make sure it's something that vibes with whatever paint color you're putting on the walls and trim. You might even be able to pull a paint color from the rug you like. But I would just say for sure, make sure there are at least some warm tones in there and make it fun. You know, I don't want to be a broken record here telling everyone to get a rug, but like the rug it's probably the largest visual thing in your space. So stop putting a gray one there and stop putting no rug there. Stop putting an ugly one there. Care about your rug because it's huge and I'm telling you to. Okay, the other thing I'm noticing is that this one corner of the room feels like super busy and then the other corner is kind of empty. So we're probably gonna wanna do a little bit of balancing. So let's move that little bookcase to the other side of the window just to get a little more balance. I see that you've got your piano beneath the window. I assume you like to look out the window while you play. That is fun. So great. If that's functionally what you like, keep it there. I think it's cute. We just need a little more balancing. And I'd like to get a little more height on that bookcase. So let's just mount that pretty little artwork. It's currently sitting on the bookcase, but mount it, mount it, mount it. I'll say maybe don't mount it centered on the bookcase because you like eclectic style. Asymmetry is gonna help you. If you like a more traditional, chic, polished style, you're gonna wanna have a lot of symmetry. If you like a more eclectic style, you can lean into asymmetry. These are not hard and fast rules, don't come at me, but they're just like general guides. So like, look, if we move that painting just over to the side a little bit and then put something else like the candlesticks from your fireplace next to it to balance, it's a little more like eclectic-y, right? A little more artistic. And let's bump that little artwork to the left side of the window. Nice, nice, nice. We are already so much closer to a colorful, eclectic, cozy space for you. Now, for a second purchase, people gonna come at me for this, but I would replace this gray armchair. It looks comfy, it looks like functionally good, but it's gray. You do not need this cheap gray. You can get something so much more fun and more affordable secondhand, I promise you. Now, in the last video I did like this, a bunch of people were commenting to a subscriber who shared her space and said, I can't, you know, afford a new sofa right now and I can't reupholster it right now. A bunch of people were saying that she should reupholster it herself. If you think you can reupholster a chair or a couch and have it not look like you reupholstered it, go for it. I couldn't. I know my limits. I think most people would not make it look very good. Like, that's a really hard thing to do and have it look good. The advice I try to give on here is advice that I would confidently or like feel good about giving to just like any one of my friends, any one of my siblings. Luke's very handy, so not him. Like, advice that I would give to one of my sisters. I do not expect my sisters to go reupholster their own couch. So my advice for the average person is probably that you're not going to reupholster your own chair and have it look good. Some brands like IKEA sell like slip covers for common existing chairs and products and couches and stuff. So you can always look up and see if you can find a slip cover. But I promise you that buying a new slip cover will cost more than just buying a cool vintage secondhand chair. And I will prove it to you. We're going to go onto the marketplace. We're going to look up Knoxville, Tennessee, search for a chair. Get any comfy, colorful chair. Do not buy a gray chair. Do not buy a white chair. Do not buy a black chair. Do not buy a brown chair even. Buy a colorful chair. I like all of these. These are good. I like the purple one a lot, just specifically for your Pinterest board and like colors you liked. And boom, $25 per chair. You could get two for less than the price of just the supplies that it would cost to reupholster your chair, okay? The supplies to reupholster, let alone the fabric, let alone the man hours, will cost you more than this. Or a slip cover will cost you more. Now, if you wanna go those routes, those are great routes, but I would get a really cool thrifted one. That's my advice. And boom, we have a completely different looking room already. It's colorful, it's cozy, it's fun. Now for some of the final items, Let me think. Let's look over at the other stuff you got on your wall, which is this beautiful tapestry. I would like to just like clean it up a little bit, and you could get it framed, which would be really nice. Could be a little expensive. So instead I might suggest that you just get like a tapestry rod, and that is gonna help it just like hang a little straighter. It's gonna look more like wall art and less like you tacked something up on the wall. And shouldn't cost you much at all. And boom. Look at our beautiful space, okay? Filling tall walls is really hard. We did a little trick to bring the ceiling down a little bit. It adds color, it makes it a little more cozy, a little playful. We lifted and righted a few of your wall decor pieces. And overall, I already thought this room was in pretty good shape considering your design inspo board. And we just need to do a couple little tricks to bring it there all the way. Great work, Ray. Keep it going. I'm so hungry. I don't think I ate any food. I have to eat. Excuse me. You trying to get cuddles from my computer? Do you want to sit with me or what? Because this is not excellent. You want to sit with me or what? He doesn't sit on my lap that good. Oh, that's actually really good. Okay, cool. I guess we're here. Don't leave. Please don't leave. This is my dream. Please don't leave. Please don't leave. No, stay. I'm petting you. I'm petting you. I'm petting you. I'm petting you. It's fine. I'm petting you. You like that. Come on, stay here. I like this. Okay, never mind. That didn't work out. He doesn't like sitting on my lap. Okay, room number 3. I haven't addressed this particular design issue really before, and I'm really excited to do it. So, the room was submitted by Mia. She says she's in Atlanta, Georgia. She says, I'm the mom of a cat and a bearded dragon. What? My cat's name is Lonnie, and my bearded dragon is Mango. Those are good names. And I see the cat in the photos. That is really important to me. I like that. When they covered her face, I like that. Okay, my space has changed a lot over the years, and I feel I am so close to the perfect space. I just don't know where to go next to elevate it. I love all the pieces I have, as many of them are sentimental since they came from my grandmother's home. I love animal print, jewel tones, antique furniture, and traditional spaces. I just don't know what I'm missing or what I need to change. I can't paint, and I really don't want to paint, honestly, as I do love the light walls. I really love my couch and the decor I have, but is it right for the space? Is it too much? Is it not enough? I just want to make my living room look more designer using what I have, if that is possible. I would love your help. Thanks so much in advance. And tell your cat I said, pss, 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 pss. That's so cute. Willie. Pss, 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 pss. He's asleep. Awesome, Mia. So I will say, when I first opened this submission, I was like, this room is great. We don't need to do anything to change it. I wouldn't tell this person to change it. This is a great room. You did a great job. But once we open Mia's inspo board, I see why she thinks it's not quite all the way to her vision. So this is super helpful. Mia sent a couple photos of the design style she wants to get all the way to. And kudos to Mia, I really see this design style reflected in her space already. I mentioned, she said very traditional, designer, very chic, more elevated. It's less eclectic, it's more symmetry. Everything is very balanced. Things are in proportion to each other. Fabulous. Okay, now let's go back to the room. Let's compare and contrast. We look at the room. We look at the inspo imagery. We look at the room. We look at the inspo imagery. Room, inspo imagery. Room, inspo imagery. Okay, the one incongruity, is that the word? One thing I have to ask, when I look at your inspo imagery, I'm not sure I'm seeing where the enormous series of Star Wars posters are. I'm not seeing that. Now, hold your hate comments for me, because I know this is where people say, well, I love my Star Wars posters. I should be able to put them up. Of course you can put them up. I want you to put them up, but if you're asking me why this room doesn't feel like your design images, one of the largest and loudest things in this room is this enormous and dark toned panel of Star Wars posters that do not align with the style. I'm not saying you can't hang up your Star Wars poster. I am not anti-Star Wars poster, okay? Nerds and the gamers and the boys and the Star Wars fans who are here, I know you're here, don't at me. I'm saying that if you put up Star Wars posters that are this black and dark and enormous above your couch, it's gonna have an effect on the room. That's all I'm saying. So there's a couple different solutions here. This is really like the area I would start with. I think this is the biggest thing, because let's look at the wall decor in your other inspo images. It's the antique frames and the brown tones and the neutral colors, la la la, cool. I actually like that you put up something way more personal than just like a Target landscape. I like that you have your Star Wars posters, which are personal to you, but I think it is the thing that is mostly keeping you from your design vision. So let's discuss. Option number one, we just move those posters to a different room, maybe a hallway. They would be great in a long hallway, or some space that doesn't feel like you need it to be as like gilded, chic, elevated, and maybe we put some more like delicate artworks, vintage pieces, wood frames, gilded frames, that kind of stuff. Maybe we put that above the couch instead, as is reflected in every single one of your inspo images, okay? Wall decor is a big impact on your space, especially when like the posters are so big. The couch is bigger than the 3 posters, but the posters are louder because they're this like pitch black series of 3. It just throws off the balance, I think, because they're so dark over this very like white couch that just blends into the wall. My eyes just go right to the poster. So I would either find a different home for the posters, or alternatively, you could find some Star Wars posters that still feel really like personal to your love for Star Wars and represent that, but are gonna work with your design style more. I really recommend people not just go buy a movie poster, but you can look up some art, like fan art, or illustrations that are like a little tangential to the movie. Here are some I found, beautiful. These, when put into like an antique frame, would not get in your way so much in this room, and you could still have your Star Wars stuff there. Or, at the very least, if you don't want to buy new posters and you refuse to move these posters to another room, let's work on the framing. Let's work on the framing, let's work on the balancing, let's work on the spacing. That's what we're gonna do. We are going to find a beautiful, golden, gilded, and or wooden, antique looking frame. It would be great if it had a little bit of like a lighter matte around it, just to like give us a break from some of this black, like lighten it up a little. But I think what we can do is just spread them out a little more, use a little bit more of that horizontal space, and that will bring a little bit of lightness with the matte, a little bit of lightness between the frames, and then a little more of that like chic antique style with the frames themselves. If you insist on keeping the posters and you insist on keeping them here, this is what I would recommend, and I think it's going to vastly improve the scenario. Or you can get some new Star Wars posters that are a little more like, are gonna match the color scheme. And I know that sounds silly, but if you're asking me why your room doesn't match the vision, that is why. And if you don't wanna get art that matches the color scheme, I get it, that's fine too. Great, I'm like so afraid of the Star Wars fans yelling at me, the gamers. I know the gamers are here. Ever since I started making the Bachelor video, Bachelor interior design videos, the gamers are here and they're ready to hurt me. Okay, now let's just look around the room and see what else we can tweak or elevate to get her slightly closer to her style. What you're watching on YouTube, girl. Mia is what, this is Nick Lewis, a fabulous interior design YouTuber, my direct competitor, and a beloved colleague. I don't think we've actually ever spoken or connected, but I really like Nick's videos. It would be really cool if you just photoshopped a little screenshot of me up there, Mia, but alas, Nick is a really good channel to watch, so I'll allow it. I think we can pull that rug out a little bit more. I know that the hearth is there, but I would get the rug out farther, as far as you can without burning down your home. And then let's look at the TV. This is a big TV, girl. Great, more power to you. Better for watching me. But your media console underneath is just way too small. So the balance is way off, and we really want to focus on balance and proportions, especially with traditional design. You need a much bigger media console up there. It is a beautiful little piece you have up there. I think you could use that as your coffee table, actually, depending on the size. Instead of these little side table and poof you piled together, I don't think you want this kind of poof in your like polished room. Put that in another room, let the cat sleep on it, or get rid of it. Side table is nice, but maybe let's move it over to the side to use as an actual side table or rehome it. Let's use that little antique guy in there. If you're like worried about staying the top, put a tray on it. And then let's make the purchase of a nice, like stately media console under your TV. It needs to be longer than the television. Usually I would say your media console needs to be 2 to 3 times as long as your television. That would be the length of a school bus. It's not even possible here. But get one that uses up a lot of that space. You definitely want to go stately with your media console. I would probably stick with your neutral tones in here. I would say definitely choose something that is more chic and polished, elegant. Those can get expensive. It would probably be most affordable to go the antique route and buy something secondhand, but we really, really want to get the balance right with that television. That is really throwing the room off, I promise. And since that could be a little costlier of a purchase, I'm gonna say, let's leave it there. We've just bought one media console, a new set of frames. Okay, I think your room is in a really good spot otherwise, especially given your design vision. So the notes I'm gonna give now are really nitpicky, very, very nitpicky, because I do think you are very close to being there. As you said, it's just like a couple little adjustments, little tweaks. I would bring this mounted candle down a bit. I think it's just hung a little too high. Hanging plant, my opinion, is it a hanging plant, especially I think it's a macrame plant holder. It can feel cozy, warm, homey, eclectic, or bohemian, but it's not gonna get you towards chic, designer, elevated. I would remove that hanging plant. You could put it on a plant stand, just use the plant elsewhere, but I wouldn't hang it, and I would definitely not use a macrame hanger. I like your fan above the hearth, honestly. I think it's really beautiful. Now, what is on the mantle? Okay. I thought this was some kind of kink toy, but Justin told me this is a mace. He said it is also a Star Wars paraphernalia, I believe. And he told me that this is not a functional mace. He says this is a decorative mace. I don't know what that means, but I don't think you want it on your mantle for 2 reasons. The aesthetics of this object just don't align with the rest of yours. Like, it doesn't. The other thing, weirdly, I just don't like that it's on a tilt. Like, it just feels a little chaotic and asymmetrical to me, like off balance in a way. It feels a little random. And when you want chic, polished, elevated, traditional, you don't want things to feel random. You want it to be very perfectly balanced, right? So I'm saying we're getting rid of the mace. Whether the mace is functional or not, we're getting rid of it. Look how much better that is. Little woven basket with yoga mats or blankets. I think it feels more like that would go well in the eclectic room, like that would go well in the room we looked at previously. I think it's making your room feel less polished. There is some cool decor on the walls also behind the couch. There are these little red like lizard guys and a fish. They're really beautiful, but they're just placed on the wall randomly. Again, with like polished, traditional, elevated style, you don't have a lot of knickknacks or things thrown up randomly. The one way that you have a bunch of small items is if they are corralled in a group, like on a tray or maybe on a mantle, things like that. But other than that, we want things to be stately. We want it to take up more space, to be intentional. You could move those to another spot. Maybe you could put them on the wall, like above the mantle. That would feel like less randomly up there. It'll feel more like contained by the home of the mantle. And then there's 2 little mini sconces and a kitty print. I think it's just throwing off the balance. I just don't think you need that there. Yeah, use it elsewhere in your home. Great. Oh, there is one poster on the other wall that I think it's just too busy. It's just like a lot of heaviness over here. Let's just remove that and rehome it. We've adjusted tiny, tiny little tweaks. We've rehomed some things. And already, I think we're in such a better spot. Mia, you've done an excellent job already. This is just nitpicky stuff. To answer your question about how to like get all the way there, I would just focus your energy on that TV wall. It's a little off balance when we actually want it to feel very stately and like mature. and then focusing on the wall decor above your couch. Let's make it very intentional, very measured, very exact, but you are very close. You're doing a great job. I love your cat, and I want to know more about your lizard. Mwah. Thanks for sharing your space. Y'all, you can look in the description of this video for lots of the decor items that I shared, a lot of the example pieces if you're interested in looking them up. Just always make sure you check the dimensions, check the materials, make sure it actually works for your space. Because sometimes I use images of stuff that just it works for the photo, but I don't know how big it is. You need it to measure. If you would like your room to be featured in one of these videos and get my design advice, you can submit it to the form below. I will also say that I put out new forms because the forms fill up or images get out of date. So I post on the community tab when I'm posting new forms, which means you'll want to subscribe so you know when I put out a new form. There we go. If you take photos of your room, make sure you get a lot of wide angle images. Make sure you take photos of every wall. Even if you think I don't need to see that wall, I do. That form is linked below. And thank you to Mia, to Ray, and to Ava for sharing their spaces with us. All three of these subscribers are doing a great job. Bless as hell. Bless as hell. I'll see you soon. Remember, you should totally check out ThredUp if you want to shop hundreds of brands for a fraction of the price, all in one place. Tap my link below and use code 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗖 to shop my ThredUp favorites and receive 50% off your first order plus free shipping.